Hello everyone, Seth Kubersky, co-author of the Unofficial Guides, and today we are back at Disney's Animal Kingdom for the first time since the shutdown. Yesterday the park opened to the public for the first time, and I was at Magic Kingdom yesterday. Today I'm at Animal Kingdom, and we're going to do something I never thought I'd be able to do. We're going to pretty much walk straight from the entrance of the park right into Pandora and maybe walk right on to Flight of Passage. Incredibly low wait times according to the app right now. So we'll see if that turns out to be true. All right, let's take a walk back into Animal Kingdom. So just to give you an idea, park reservations are required in order to visit the Walt Disney World theme parks right now. Only Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom are open at this time. On the 15th, Epcot and Hollywood Studios will be added. And right now for annual pass holders, park reservations are completely sold out for the rest of the month. Day guests can still buy tickets, and there still is room on select dates for resort guests. But they've severely limited the capacity in the parks. Yesterday at Magic Kingdom, I experienced amazingly low wait times for all the big attractions. And I think we're going to see even lower wait times here today.
I like to let my hair down when I come to the park.
So I arrived here today just a little after noon, slid right into the parking lot, and there's still parking cars in Peacock, which is the very closest parking lot. All the other parking sections were completely unused. I think there may be more cars in the cast member parking lot than in the guest parking lot today. And as we walk out, we can see there's some people here. A lot of them, actually, more people seem to be heading out than in, which isn't surprising. The park opened at 8 a.m. this morning. Park closes early at 5 p.m. But I really think in the next 4 hours or so, I'll be able to do basically everything in the park.
Very young.
So a quick recap, if you haven't been following along with the saga of the reopening of the parks, just like over at Magic Kingdom, temperature checks are required here. The temperature check took no time at all, just walked right through. And incidentally, the new security screening area at Animal Kingdom is all finished, and that uses new Evolve touch-free scanners. All you have to do is walk it through. You no longer have to have anyone look into your bag. You don't even have to take out your cell phone, your keys. The only thing that you might have to take out is an umbrella. If you've got an umbrella, you got to pull that out of your bag and hold that out in front of you. Otherwise, you're good to just cruise right through. And of course, before you even get to that point, face masks are required. And this has been in a little bit of the news lately. Neck gaiters are not acceptable here as face masks. Face masks must be 2-ply and must have loops that go over your ears. If it's just a tube of fabric that hanging around your neck, they will turn you away or make you purchase a mask. You can buy a disposable mask here in vending machines for $2. How are you doing?
Good.
Are you done? Are you heading out?
No, I just got here.
Oh, okay, yeah, I just showed up too. It's like I can do everything in 4 hours probably.
Yes.
Is it a walk-on?
20 minutes and 30 minutes.
Wow. Okay, cool. That was a little gratuitous cameo from Mr. Tim Tracker. So, looks like 20 or 30 minutes here for the Pandora attractions, which is kind of amazing if you consider that normally on a nice Sunday in July, you could see anywhere between 2 and 4 hours for Flight of Passage, and probably at least an hour for Navi River. And welcome back to the Valley of Mara. Pandora, the world of Avatar. This is interesting. This is a little interactive thing where people would touch the large throbbing pod until it spurted out steam, and for obvious reasons, that's now blocked off. So we'll cruise first past the river ride, and then we'll head over to Flight of Passage. So from here, I see what appears to be a 25-minute posted wait for Navi River Journey. It's good to see the mountains are still floating. I was afraid they would have gotten tired during the closure and just sat down, but no. They're still up. And something I never thought I'd see, a 20-minute posted wait here for Flight of Passage. So we're going to see how close that is to correct. Hello. I'll let these folks get past. Hand sanitizer at the entrance of every ride, and then there'll be another hand sanitizer right before boarding, and finally you'll find a third one right after you get off of each ride. A small difference between Walt Disney World and Universal is Walt Disney World has placed the sanitizers there, but are not in any way enforcing their use. Whereas Universal actually has someone gives every single person a squirt of hand sanitizer before they get on every ride. So, on the other hand, Disney is stopping their rides every 20 minutes or so to clean all of the vehicles, whereas Universal is just periodically cleaning each vehicle individually throughout the ride without shutting them down entirely. So for any of you who have visited Animal Kingdom and waited standby, you know this exterior portion of this queue can be pretty brutal in the summer. I think the heat index today is probably up to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit with the humidity. So the fact that we are just walking continuously through this is kind of wonderful. As you can see, there are social distancing markers on the ground throughout every queue, every 6 feet. And it looks like we are going to be in the interior queue in just a moment here. Hopefully I will be able to maintain a signal and continue streaming, at least up until I enter the pre-show. I'll keep going as long as I can, just to give you an idea of how long the wait is. But, I can already tell I've many a time waited an hour or so just to get to the point we're at right now. So, the major effect of social distancing in the lines is, yes, the lines are all as long or longer than they would normally be, but they move much faster. And that's interesting because you have reduced capacity for most of the attractions. A ride that uses an omni-mover, and it's just one party per vehicle, can pretty much maintain the same capacity, something like a Little Mermaid or a Haunted Mansion. It looks like we do have some network connectivity issues, so I may drop out. But as I was saying, attractions that have larger vehicles are severely limited right now. Take something like the boats at It's a Small World or Pirates of the Caribbean. Whereas before you could put a family in every row. Now you've got a family in the front row and a family in the back row. And all the middle row is empty. I'm curious to see exactly what the setup here is at Flight of Passage. Each chamber has, I believe, 8 seats. They're all sitting next to each other, so I'm curious how many parties will go in each one. I'm personally a single rider, so I've frequently been able to get a row or even an entire ride vehicle to myself during my visits to the parks. And we are just cruising straight through here. Okay, this is the section where I'm pretty much sure I'm going to lose you guys soon. I'll try to keep recording though so I can upload it to Facebook. You'll be able to review the stream later. And we are just heading straight through into the black light section without any pause. So I'm guessing unless there's a major holdup right before boarding, that 20 minutes, probably going to be more like 10 minutes. So I've only been here at Animal Kingdom for a few minutes today, but I have spent a couple days at the Magic Kingdom, and what I've seen so far today seems to line up. Families seem to really be doing their best to comply with all the social distancing, and mask use has been pretty much 100%. You know, every once in a while you see someone with it slip down below their nose, or someone walking around eating. But honestly, the parks are so wide open right now. There's no trouble being able to step away and get more than 2 meters away from anyone. You might have seen as we walk past there, and right here again, they've put plexiglass barriers in many of these interior queues to prevent people walking through the switchbacks from making contact with each other. It is not the most attractive thing thematically, but in the middle of the pandemic, I don't think we can complain about thematic integrity. All right, when we are now heading into the laboratory, I'd say even on the best of circumstance, I've never waited less than half an hour to get to this point, I don't think. You know, unless you're rope dropping. You know, it's interesting when you have a section that does have switchbacks like this, you'll have sometimes a large gap, and it's sometimes hard to tell exactly where you're supposed to step to when. This is a good reason to not use your cell phone through a queue unless you are a blogger. So you can keep your head up. And really, we're moving so fast, there's no reason to have to sit on your cell phone through this queue. We are just flying. I think the biggest holdup actually might just be to see the Navi animatronic right up ahead here in the queue, which I can't really blame him.
Thank you for visiting us today. Just a few reminders. Please wear a face covering. Clean your hands often and thoroughly. Cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing, and maintain physical distancing. Thank you.
And looks like we're moving here in a second, right again? And there we go. So I'm guessing we're going to be just a couple cycles away from loading here. We're at least getting up to the lanes prior to pre-show dispatch. It's a nice chance to get a good look at this animatronic here, which is really very subtle but amazing in its movements.
Guys are leading drivers. Flying safely in the opposite direction. All clear.
Which one? Thank you. Again, here, see more plexiglass walls separating the different lanes here. I'm gonna hang back just a second because they're kind of a big party. But this is pretty incredible. Posted 20 minutes. Definitely not 20 minutes. So I'm probably going to sign off just up ahead once I get into the pre-show and get an idea of about how many they're loading into each chamber. And then I'm going to enjoy my ride. And if you hop over to our Twitter feed once I get off, I'll be having some more updates from around the park. My goal is to experience all the major attractions to check out how they're handling the social distancing practices. Park closes at 5, and if all the waits are like this, it should be quite doable. Here's a couple other little things to notice. The employees are not only all wearing face masks, but they're also wearing very stylishly fashionable face shields on top of it. So the employees are definitely double protected here. I've also seen them frequently being cycled out to take breaks so they can wash their hands. Looks like those folks just got an entire chamber to themselves. One? Okay, thank you. Hi.
Come on, right down and around all the way, right? Here are your flight visors.
Thank you very much.
Want to stand here on that
Oh.
red dot, all the way by the door.
Thank you.
Certainly. Come on down.
Wow, okay, so it basically looks like we've got, we're down to 3 parties per link chamber. 1, 2, 3. We bypassed the first pre-show entirely. So at this point, we do not get to fly. So it looks like we've got, we got a party of 4 here. Yeah, so 3 red dots added here. I'm not sure exactly how much extra space they're going to give me between the next group.
Can everyone see me?
Oh, here we go.
Great. Welcome to the Avatar program. Soon, you're going to have a chance to undertake an amazing Na'vi rite of passage, flying on the back of this powerful animal called an Ikron, or as we call it, a banshee. The way you're going to do this is by being matched to something called an avatar. They're created by blending human DNA
this is
and
interesting.
Na'vi DNA. Once we match you to an avatar, thanks to a special link chair, your mind will be able to control that avatar. Using avatars to fly this way was all figured out by my boss, Dr. Jackie Ogden. She leads our science team, which is part of the Pandora Conservation Initiative, and we're here in the Valley of Moara studying banshees and their environment. Let's watch this piece by Dr. Ogden, who runs the program.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Jackie Ogden from the Pandora Conservation Initiative. You're about to experience a ceremony that's very special to the Na'vi. Connecting to an Ikron and flying on its back is an incredibly important rite of passage they call Ikni Maya. With permission from the Na'vi and in partnership with Alpha Centauri Expeditions, we can now bring this amazing experience to you.
We establish a link using powerful psionic amplification equipment. A human driver is connected to an avatar, which could be physically hundreds of kilometers away. When you follow our technician into the link chamber, you'll see a series of 16 link chairs. Please go to the number that matches the number you're standing on now. First, stow your gear in the storage containers on the back wall. This should include all bags, cameras, and other items, including cell phones. It's important to push them all the way into the bin. Then get onto the chair as you would a bike. Straddle the seat, step forward, and sit down. Slide your hips forward until you are against the chest pad, and then move your feet all the way forward. Wait until you're seated before you put on your flight visors. Hold onto the hand grips as shown. It's important to hold onto the hand grips at all times. After you're seated, back and leg restraints will be firmly engaged. For your safety, throughout this entire experience, always remain seated and supervise your children.
Once the link takes place, you'll be connected to your avatar and sitting on the back of an Ikron. It'll feel like you're really there. Moments later, you'll begin your flight. A Na'vi guide will lead you out. You'll experience the breathtaking beauty of Pandora, but you might also face some of its greatest challenges. Some of this flight might be intense, but trust your guide and be brave. As the Na'vi say during this important rite of passage, Sivak Ho, rise to the challenge.
All right, it's time for me to sign off. I will see you all on the other
You
side.
ready?